Can you allow yourself to land, like really land, right here, right now, fully? Letting go of all projections from the past and all anticipations of a future. And come into this moment right now with your entire being and allow this moment to be completely sufficient as it is. This is an affirmation that I learned from my brother Keone Hanale in his 3-month spiritual container and reorientation back home to our true selves, Aloha Ma, which means self-reflective love. This practice is about landing in your body. So let us begin. Place your right hand over your genitals and below your navel, and honor your inner feminine. Place your left hand on your heart and honor your inner masculine. And let's bring new breath, new life force into both of them, honoring yourself, coming back into your body now, breathing this new life force into your body with deep inhale and deep exhale. A deep inhale and a deep exhale. Feeling yourself landing, feeling yourself coming back into your body, and saying this affirmation with me now. I let go of all projections of a past and anticipations of a future. I allow myself to land here now. I allow myself to be fully here now. I deem this moment sufficient. I belong. I decide. Taking a deep inhale, breathing in that sacred declaration into your body, allowing it to fill your entire being, coming home, coming home, coming home, landing, landing, now. Exhaling deeply, relaxing, landing, home. Aloha, my beautiful family. It is so good to be here with you today on the Journey Om podcast. My name is Thormotu Dirensborg, and in this podcast, we are about the exploration of our journey back home to ourselves, outside of situation, circumstance, outside of any distortions or illusions of the mind, back home to our sacred hearts, so that we may return to our divine birthright of wholeness and allow the Creator, God, Source, Spirit, the divine light that we all share to come back home where it belongs within each and every one of us. For me, this feels like the main mission I have here in this life. In a time when we are so collectively lost in the external world, where so many of us are abandoning ourselves constantly, losing ourselves and giving away our power to all of these external forces that ultimately have nothing to do with our individual lives. This is a real personal journey for me, as I've had the honor and privilege to be on my own spiritual journey back home to myself for a long time, and to have had many glimpses of what it feels like to come home, to land, to feel whole as a person. But it took a long time for me to get here, and I've lived most of my life in fear, in anxiety, in self-doubt, self-judgment, self-criticism. I've been so hard on myself for so long because of the trauma that I experienced in childhood. And I'm of the opinion that we all have experienced trauma in our lives. In fact, I believe that from a spiritual level, any distortion outside of wholeness and divine connection with God is inherently trauma. It's trauma because what it means is that we have some distortion outside of wholeness, outside of God, outside of love. And so I think what a lot of us really want deep inside is to feel whole, to feel complete, to love ourselves. And it is only when we truly love ourselves that we are truly able to love another. The external world is just a reflection of our internal world. Everything we perceive out of ourselves must first go through our filter of consciousness. While we may be searching for the meaning of life, the other layer of that is that we are the ones that are creating meaning for our lives. We are the ones that are co creating this construct. So we are overlaying our consciousness when we interact with the external world. No one else is deciding for you how you choose to see the world. You can choose to see the world like most other people do, but that doesn't mean that it's the right way to see the world just because most people think a certain way and normalize that way of thinking. In fact, most people's interpretation of life itself is frankly skewed, distorted, and broken because we're living in a collective consciousness that is vibrating at a level of distortion, of fear, of false interpretation of consciousness through a distorted perception and false manifestation of spiritual principles filtered through the unpure consciousness of man. In layman's terms, what I'm saying is that because man has chosen to allow impurities into his consciousness on a collective level, that we are living in the byproduct of that. The way we live our lives, the way we interact with each other, the way we love each other, the way we love nature and the world around us, all of that is a byproduct of the purity or impurity of our consciousness. If one does not cleanse the impurities out of their consciousness, then one falls victim to the byproducts of unconsciousness, which manifests as toxic behavior that harms oneself, other people, and the environment at large. So, our job as collective beings on this planet, our job as light workers and light warriors, as awakened beings, is to get ourselves from a place where we are no longer playing it small, where we are no longer playing the victim, but we remember that we are co-creators of this construct. And we strengthen ourselves and our vitality to the point where we blast our consciousness into the world, radiating our divine light, illuminating the path so that our vibration is so high that when we come into contact with other beings, they are influenced by our vibrational field and are lifted up into their higher selves vicariously through being in contact with our consciousness. Now, in order to do that, we must stabilize our frequency. We must first come home to ourselves. We must land. We must practice landing. And as an awakened being, you are automatically a spiritual practitioner. And the word practitioner is key here because it takes spiritual practice to stabilize a higher vibrational frequency. Look, the world is going to tempt you back into lower vibrational states of consciousness. We are engaging with an external world to which a vast majority of that energy is vibrating poorly, is vibrating under false sight and distortion. And without a strong spiritual practice, we will automatically fall back into lower states of consciousness. This is the spiritual battle that we are facing every day. This is how we wrestle with God. This is the battle of light and darkness manifesting through you as your very life. But while this battle may require you to use your spiritual lightsaber at times, while it may call upon you to reach into the depth of your soul for strength, a big chunk of the battle is won simply by letting go, simply by coming home, landing. Because when we land, when we come home, when we drop out of the mind and into the heart, we automatically elevate our vibration and solve the majority of our problems. Because most of, if not all of our problems, are manifestations of the false perception of man. They are byproducts of false thought. They are an illusion. They are not real because they are not really here right now. They are projections of a past that is no longer here, or they are worries of a future that has not yet arrived. Because the truth of the matter is that in this now moment, if you have food in your belly, if you have a place to sleep tonight, if you are breathing and tuning into this transmission right now, then you are already whole. You are already free. You are already complete. You are perfect as you are right now, and you are exactly where you are supposed to be. You have it all within you right now, and you've always had it all because everything you are searching for has been within you the whole time, right under your nose, right outside of the false perceptions of the mind. This is the basis of meditation, and this is why meditation is so important as a practice because we need to practice anchoring ourselves into the present moment, into the now, into true reality. We must practice landing, coming home, so that when we move through the world, we do not get caught up in the whirlwind of unconsciousness around us, but rather through our spiritual practice, we become so grounded, so stable in our higher consciousness that we become a gift to ourselves and to everyone around us. So, in this moment, I remind you that you are not who you think you are. That yes, there is a layer of your identity that is based off of everything that has happened to you in the past up to this very moment, that is real and that is valid, but it is not the whole truth. That underneath the surface level projection is something so deep, something so vast, something so loving that wants to come through you and experience itself through you as your very life. That this ocean of devotion, of love, of life is the energetic blood that permeates all of life itself beyond the flesh, beyond the matter, beyond the separation, beyond you and me is this divine love, is consciousness itself, is God. And this omniscient, omnipotent, all knowing, all seeing goodness wants to come through you as your very life. That is the whole point of the game. And so we dance with this inner knowing, knowing that we are consciousness playing hide and seek with itself, that we'll probably forget in a few minutes and go right back to being lost in the Maya. But if we are disciplined in our spiritual practice, then slowly but surely, eventually, we won't get caught up in the illusion as much. We'll love ourselves more. We'll be more compassionate to others, and we'll remember to enjoy our journey back Om. Thank you so much for tuning into the Journey Om podcast. I'm so grateful to share my consciousness with you and bless you on your life journey. My name is Thor Motu Duransborg, and my mission on this planet in this human incarnation is to raise human consciousness and reduce human suffering. My purpose is to be a beacon of light that lifts up all those around me. We are going through a collective awakening right now, and we need to come together in spiritual community to strengthen ourselves, to lift each other up, so that we can become our higher selves together and illuminate the path for others to follow and for the children of tomorrow. We need community right now more than ever, and I want to support you on your life journey. So click the link in the description down below and join our spiritual community. We would love to support you in becoming your higher self. With deep love and gratitude, the light in me honors and loves the light in you. Aloha. Namaste.